In this video, let's learn how to record the information into the tables we just built. When we record the information, data records into tables, we need to use the insert into commands. Let's go to Workbench. Let's create a new SQL script. Before we record the information into tables, we need to tell the software for which database we record the information. So we should use the use command. Use MySite. MySite is the name for the database we just built. By doing this, the software is able to understand we want to record some information into MySite database. Next, we need to use the insert into command to record the information in detail into a table. Let's type in insert into. After into, you want to list the name of the table you want to record the information for. Let me use the first customer data records as example, Bohan's information. We want to record this information into a table called customers. So after into, we need to type in customers. After customers, we need to type in a set of parentheses. And then between the parentheses, we need to list the column names inside of the customers table. Let's take a look. We have a customer ID, customer first name, customer last name, phone, and address, right? We need to list all of these column names into the parentheses. We must use the exact words, letters as they are given when we list them. For instance, when you list the customer first name, you must type in cust first name. You cannot type in customer first name as the column name or first name as a column name. You must use exactly how they are given. Cust first name. There is only one special case, cust ID. Do you remember when we built the table, we specify an auto increment property for this column, right? We want the software to automatically increase the ID number by 1 and then give this ID to a new data record. So when we list the column names, we really don't need to care about the cust ID anymore because it will be taken care of by the software. We just start from the first column, cust first name. So let's list all of them. Let's go to the parentheses and then type in cust first name. And then a comma. Let's type in the second column name, cust last name. Let's type in cust last name. And then another comma. The next one is cust phone. Let's type in cust phone. And then another comma. The last one is cust address. Let's type in cust address. Next, let's jump out of the ending parentheses and then type in a keyword called values. After values, let's type in another set of parentheses. Between these parentheses, we want to type in the values we want to give to each column. First, for the customer first name, we want to give a ball. We want to record ball into the cell under customer first name. Because we specify the type of the values as a virtual, as a textual data, when you want to record the textual value, you must include the value by 2 single quotes. This is how. Let's type in 2 single quotes. And then between the single quotes, let's type in ball. Then in the future, ball will be given to the cell under cust first name column. Next, let's type in a comma. For the second one, Han, we need to use the similar way. We need to include Han by 2 single quotes. Let's type in 2 single quotes and then type in 10 and then another comma. For the phone number, even though they are numbers, we specify them as a textual type, right? Virtual type. So let's type in 2 single quotes and then let's just copy the phone number and paste the phone number between the 2 single quotes and then another comma. Last one is address. For the simplicity purpose, I just recorded the customer city. I will type in commerce. In the future, if you have an address in detail, you can type all of this address into the customer address. But we still treat commerce as a textual data, right? Let's type in 2 single quotes and then type in commerce. This is how we insert the first data record into the table. Let's type in a semicolon to conclude this statement. We can do the same for the next records as well. Let's just copy the insert into comments and then paste them under the current insert into. For the first parenthesis, we still keep the column names, but for the second parenthesis, the values will be different, right? Let's take a look at the second data record. Second customer is called Eric Smith. He's from Dallas. So let's type in these values. Let's change bold to Eric, change hand to Smith. The phone number is different as well. Let's copy the new phone number and then paste it into the 2 single quotes. Let's change commerce to Dallas. Let's copy and paste the insert into comments. And then change the values. The third customer is called Gina Johnston. Let's type in Gina and then Johnston. And then copy the phone number and then paste it into the 2 single quotes. And she's from Austin. So let's remove Dallas and then type in Austin. You can keep adding information into the table. Let's create the fourth customer just as an exercise. Let's copy the insert into and then paste under the current insert into. Let's create an example customer, Anthony Williams. Anthony Williams. And the phone number will be 313-4567. And he's from Austin as well. After we type in all of this insert into comment, we are able to execute the comments. Let's just click the lightning bolt. And then you will see a lot of messages with check signs, right? They show one row affected. That means your data records have been given to the customers table. Let's save the current script. Let's click the save button. And then let's call this customer records. And then save this into the SQL project folder. We can use similar comments to record the information for the second table, the customer orders table. Let's create a new SQL script. We still need to indicate for which database we want to record the information. We need to type in use my site and then a semicolon. And then let's start a new line. Let's type in insert into. Next, we need to indicate the name of the table, right? Let's take a look at how we name the table. When we create the order table, we name it as customer orders. So let's go back to the new script and then type in customers orders. And then after customer orders, let's type in parentheses. We need to list the column names into the parentheses, right? Let's take a look at the column names. Here we have order ID, cost ID, product name, per price, and quantity. We specify order ID as a primary key, and also we use the auto increment property for order ID. So when we list the column name, we don't need to list the order ID. We just start from cost ID. Cost ID, product name, per price, and quant. Let's list. Let's type in cost ID, and then a comma, and then product name, another comma, per price, another comma, and then the last one is a quant, Q-U-A-N-T. The quantity of products the customer ordered. Next, we need to type in values and then parentheses. Here we need to look at the values for the first data record. First value is 1. We specify customer ID as integers for the customer orders table, right? When you record integer type data, you just type in the value directly. You don't need to include 1 by 2 single quotes anymore. So let's type in 1 and then a comma. Second value is iPhone 5S. This is treated as a textual data value, right? So we need to include iPhone 5S by 2 single quotes. Let's go back to Workbench and then type in 2 single quotes and then type in iPhone 5S and then another comma. Next one is the price, right? We treat the price as a float type. When you record float type, you can type in the number directly. You don't need to add the dollar sign. You don't need to add a comma. Just type in the value directly. 599. Let's type in 599 and then a comma. Next one is quant. We treat quant as an integer type. So we type in 1 directly. This means the customer ordered 1 iPhone 5S. Let's type in 1 directly. And then use semicolon to conclude this statement. We can copy the insert into comments and then paste it under the current insert into. Let's modify the values. For the second data record, cost ID is still 1. And then the product name changed to South Park S8 DVD, Season 8 DVD. Let's remove iPhone 5S, and then between the 2 single quotes, let's paste the DVD name. The price for this DVD is 18.66. 18.66. The customer ordered 1. So we still keep 1. Let's copy this insert into and then paste it under the current insert into. For the third transaction, the customer ID is still 1. This means this order is still from a customer number 1. He ordered the AM Commerce t-shirt. So let's copy this product name and then paste the product name into the 2 single quotes. The t-shirts cost $12.50. Let's type in 12.5. This customer ordered 4 t-shirts. The quant value is 4. So let's type in 4. And then we can copy the insert into and then record the last data record. The last one, cost ID is number 2. Let's change 1 to 2. This customer ordered a tire compressor. Let's copy the product name and then remove AM Commerce t-shirt. Paste the tire compressor between the two single quotes. These products cost $29.77. Let's remove 12.5 and then type in 29.77. He ordered one of the product. Let's remove 4 and then type in 1. Now we are ready to execute these comments. Let's just click the lightning bolt. And then you will find the output message showing that all the data records have been recorded in the table customer orders.